So, you just finished one of the greatest sci-fi TV shows of all time, and you're sitting back thinking, what in the world just happened? Granted, this season was not as confusing as some of the other events in other seasons, but today we are going to talk about the ending of Dark Season 3, hit on a couple of things that happened in the midst of the season, but we're really going to focus on that final episode, what it means for our characters. Was it indeed a happy ending or tragic? We're going to dive into all of those things. Obviously, spoilers in today's video, and if you enjoy these ending explains, be sure to leave it a thumbs up and comment your thoughts below. Did Season 3 live up to your expectations? And the biggest question of them all, who is your favorite character and why? Would love to see those spoil away in the comments. But let's get right into Season 3. So, at the end of Season 2, we were left on a massive cliffhanger seeing Jonas/Adam killing Martha, and alternate Martha coming in to bring Jonas to what we now know is Earth number 2. So that's how I'm going to refer to them today. Earth 1, Earth 2, and Earth 3? What? We'll get into it. So, like I said, we have two main worlds happening simultaneously with all of the events pretty much the same, except for minor details that are showcased within this season that I thought were absolutely brilliant. Now, in the same case of Earth 1, most of these characters still exist because of prior time travel, but the differences are even more subtle than that. Ulrich is with Charlotte now. Willer doesn't have an arm instead of an eye. If you pay attention to certain locations, things are flipped, objects are on different sides, houses are laid out just a tad bit differently, and essentially one of the storylines in Season 3 is the exact same storyline we got in Season 1, the build-up to the apocalypse. The only notable difference is the fact that Jonas doesn't exist in this universe because Mikkel never went back in time. That's right, this is the alternate reality mentioned all the way back in Season 2 when they were asking, are things going to be better when Jonas doesn't exist? Well, the answer is no. So the big question there is why? What is causing all of this to happen in the first place? Is there a point to all of these looped realities? Are certain characters not taking part in the events that we all thought were going to lead up to this apocalypse? Is that what is doing it, or is it something else? Could it be the fact that in episode 4, it is revealed to the audience, I believe, one of the biggest shocks throughout the entire show, a show full of shocks, mind you, that the child of Jonas from Earth 1 and Martha from Earth 2 is the key to all of this, the link between these two worlds. So the big question is then asked, who is the child? Well, this is revealed to us at the end of episode 4 when Adam is showing Martha, hey, listen, what you have inside of you is going to change the course of history as we know it, and nothing can prevent that. Well, we are introduced to a character or three different versions of one character at the beginning of this season as they are burning down the now iconic family tree, and we ask ourselves, who are these individuals? What is the point of their existence? But we see as we progress through Season 3 what they are doing, how they are slowly causing these terrible things to happen in both realities, having the ability to travel from Earth 1 to Earth 2 back to Earth 1. Why is that? Well, we realize that the child of Martha and Jonas does indeed become this nameless individual. So all throughout this season, we see these characters attempting to break the loop. Could it be a minor change that we can cause, or a buildup of minor changes and one manages to push things in the right direction? What is going to prevent the apocalypse? What is the role of Sigmundus and their ideals? How does Jonas end up becoming Adam? And who is the character known as Eva? So now in Season 3, we are getting the build-up to the apocalypse on Earth 2 and showcasing all of the events that happened there, and we see that Martha's storyline on this Earth is almost mirroring Jonas's storyline, albeit a tad bit different, but because of that, she is basically engaging in these monumental events that Jonas engaged in on Earth 1, but she is the individual that becomes Eva. So not only is Jonas having to face a new version of Wyndon, but he also has to face a new form of Martha, known as Eva, who's in charge of making sure everything in this parallel universe happens the way it's supposed to. The issue here is that just like how Adam was manipulating Jonas and Noah in his world, Eva is using Jonas and younger Martha as pawns in this scheme that leads into the apocalypse, preserving the knot and making sure the loop continues to happen while Adam is trying to do the opposite. He wants to break the knot and the cycle so that he can destroy both of these worlds and create a new one where the existence of time is no more, and all of these events lead into episode 4, where the real reason is revealed why Eva wants to maintain that loop, and that is what they refer to as the origin, or the beginning of everything that connects these two worlds. We see Jonas having sex with Martha, in turn, the child. So there's where the conflict sparks. Adam is trying to destroy this version of Martha, in turn, taking the baby out in the process. Eva wants the baby alive, which is why she's trying everything she can do to make the apocalypse happen over and over again, because that is how the baby survives. So while what both of these characters are doing is not good, you can see motivations behind each of them, motivations behind why they are doing what they're doing, and that, to me, is the sign of a brilliant script. And that really is the focus of Season 3. A lot of Martha, a lot of Jonas, but even more of the battle between the older versions, the battle between Adam and Eve, very biblical in that sense, which is also why 333, aka the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, is used so many times, with the 3 timelines at the beginning, the 3 different worlds. We will get into world number 3 here in just a bit. And even the 3 main characters throughout the series, Claudia, Martha, and Jonas, and the older/younger versions. Again, this show is brilliant. They loop everything together in the perfect way, and I love it. So yes, I just mentioned Claudia, and even though the other characters that I just mentioned are much more of the focus, I would argue that Claudia is actually the hero of this season. Because A, she keeps herself distant from Adam and Eva and learns how to break the cycle once and for all, and this all starts when she realizes that she's been manipulated by Eva this entire time. So when she realizes that Eva has been manipulating her emotions, Claudia from Earth 1 kills Claudia from Earth 2, and this is the point where she learns that a few minutes before the apocalypse happens, there is a fraction of seconds where time stands still, and this allows everyone to free themselves from the loop, which creates 2 overlapping realities in the same universe. And it's funny because Eva takes this knowledge and sends one Martha in one direction and the other on a completely different path, while Claudia does the same to Eva, sending a younger version of her on 2 different journeys, one where she ends up dying by the hands of Noah, and the other that leads her to where she is now. And then we learn the most important factor of Season 3 and what really ends up wrapping up this series as a whole, and that is the fact that these 2 worlds were never supposed to exist. It's all just one big mistake from Tannhaus, aka the Clockmaster, from the original world, as he split 1 into 3, again the number 3, using his time-traveling apparatus that he created, and from that you have Adam's, Eve's, and the original universe. And so we learn that a plot point brought up earlier in this season, the death of Tannhaus' son, his daughter-in-law, and his granddaughter, is what pushed him to create the time-traveling device in the first place. So by stopping that from happening, that will stop these other worlds from ever existing. Simply enough, one event changes the course of time as we know it. So Jonas and Martha make it their mission to head to that original universe and prevent that crash from happening in the first place. Easy enough, right? Okay, you stop the thing to prevent the thing from happening. Oh no. But if we do that, that will not only prevent characters like Charlotte and Noah from ever existing, but also themselves. Martha and Jonas will cease to exist if they keep that time travel device from happening. Now, by doing that, they will save their loved ones and allow most of them to live, thrive, be happy. But it's also going to cause fans of this show to break down in tears. Why is that? Well, we see at the end that they make, quote-unquote, the right decision, prevent that crash from happening in the first place, which means Jonas and Martha cease to exist. So we see everyone a part of the knot slowly vanishing from that specific world in an extremely emotional scene. Not only our younger versions, but Adam and Eva, who share a hug as well. A very loving and emotional moment between two, basically at this point, two arch nemesis. We see they were going after each other all of this time, but they realize it was the right thing to do. Everyone made a calculated decision at this specific point to prevent the loop from happening again, which caused our two lead characters from this season, Martha and Jonas, to disappear in what was just an incredibly devastating scene that is going to leave fans and pretty much everyone who watches this gasping for air. And then the show's over. Not really. There's actually one more scene that points us in a bit of a more positive direction from what we just saw. So we see a pregnant Hannah who is at dinner with Katharina, Peter, Regina, Benny, married to Waller, interesting enough, and they're talking about the fact that Katharina just had a deja vu moment when she asked Hannah what her baby's name is going to be. And then we get a shot of the yellow raincoat as Hannah says, "I think Jonas is a beautiful name." So will we get a version of Jonas in the future? Absolutely, but the evil that comes from these characters, such as Adam and Eva, they are no more. The prevention of these two worlds kept the murder of multiple children, the death of millions, and all of these terrible things from happening as Jonas, Martha, Claudia all go down as heroes that no one will remember. So yeah, guys, what started as what some said was a Stranger Things ripoff, are we going to get their version of the Upside Down as we progress through the... No. This turned into a completely different, excellent, well-written, monumental sci-fi show that I believe will go down in the history as one of the best to ever do it. But I need you in the comments down below. How did you feel about the ending of Season 3? Would you like more videos talking about Dark and the intricacies of what not only I talked about, which was just the main storyline? So many things I could have mentioned in greater detail, whether it's Elizabeth and Noah, the nuclear power plant, seeing that being built for the first time, Katharina being murdered by her mother, a lot of elements to this season. But just talking about those main plot points, I believe, is going to hopefully get you guys through those final few episodes. Appreciate you all for watching. Like I said, if you enjoy these videos, be sure to smash that thumbs up button, and I'll see you very soon.